The desire to own a home is on the rise. Nearly 59 million Americans are considering buying a home this year, with 4 out of 5 millennials, those crazy millennials, saying they plan to buy one in the next 5 years. So how do you start? Well, Greg Jager, he's a real estate industry expert with USAA, and he joins us now with some tips to make this process easy and fast. Greg, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, Sean. How about you?
Doing pretty well. I know a lot of people in this boat, first-time home buyers, kind of like in this big, scary ocean, not sure where to go, what to do. What do you have for those first-time home buyers?
I think, you know, the first-time home buyers, they really need to understand a few things. They need to understand the marketplace. You know, Vegas is a hot market, right? I mean, things that are coming on the market for sale turn over quickly. No kidding, they need to be ready if they're going to be out there looking at homes to pull the trigger, because if they don't pull the trigger, it's not going to be available tomorrow. The other is, I think they need to understand their finances. You know, obviously, I run the real estate brokerage at USAA, and so I'm going to be a proponent of using an agent, and because of all the nuanced benefits that come from that. But the agent is going to lead you quickly to a lender to understand, you know, your income and your assets and how that plays into a price point that you can afford. No question. Spring in particular is a promising time to buy a home. Why is that? I think it's a couple of reasons. You know, for the buyers, that's really when the greatest amount of inventory is out there. I think also for folks who are, whether they're military, you know, you've got a big military presence in the Vegas area. You know, whether they're military, whether they're civilian, the military actually is respectful of kids in school and tries to do the permanent change of stations during the summer as best they can. That's great. Civilians try and do the same thing. They don't want to disrupt, you know, kids in schools if they're going to move from house to house, and that has a school impact. Absolutely. Any real estate market trends you're seeing at the moment? A couple. One, because of, you know, you referenced those darn millennials right at the beginning, and, you know, contrary to, you know, what we heard over the last couple of years, that they're going to forever stay in their parents' basement, that, you know, probably nobody really believed that was true, and it's not coming true. They've actually started now to come out and become home buyers, first-time home buyers, and the most recent survey work indicates that somewhere short of 70% of the millennials will actually become first-time home buyers over the next 5-year period. Wow. That's huge. That's bigger than the baby boomer population that bought houses. Absolutely. So I think that's going to create a trend where just supply and, you know, demand pressures, what that's going to do probably is drive home prices up, because there's going to be limited inventory available. We have about a minute left. Let's talk about regulations. I know there's new regulations on mortgage rates and home affordability. What do we have to know about that? Is it too late to get some cheap rates? How's it looking? So rates have moved up, but when you look at them over the long historic trend, they're not out of sight. A 4% interest rate, which is where we find ourselves with 30-year conventional financing today, in a historical long view, that's still very affordable. Regulations, you know, I think the biggest piece of that is the lenders are going to pry deeply into people's income and assets in order to appropriately verify that they can afford the home. Absolutely. 4% is, I believe, stupid cheap compared to history. I mean, they were north of 10% for a while. They went up to what, 18? I heard people saying 18% at one point. Yes, the first home that I bought in 1981 was 18.6%. Well, Greg, things are looking up. Not because of bad credit. Yeah. You know, just 4 is not so bad now. Greg, it's great having you, my friend. Thank you so much. Thanks, Sean. Whether you're a millennial home buyer or a veteran seller, knowing the real estate market can help you get the best possible outcome. You want more information? Go to USAA.com. USAA, proud sponsor of the Morning Blend.